How's it going, everybody? Feed You Information here. This is going to be the 14th installment for the series Stock Market News Updates. This is going to be for yesterday, Friday, October 11th. I will be doing a today video later, but anyways, let's get into these stocks. We're covering 10 today, and they are Johnson & Johnson, UPS, Oracle, Facebook, WeWork, Corvo, Broadcom, Synchrony Financial, Capital One, and Apple. So we're going to start backwards, starting with Apple. So, Apple's added 5 more games to Apple Arcade, its new subscription service that launched last month. These 5 games include Hidden Layers game Inmost, and it doesn't list the other 4, so that sentence is pointless. Published by Chucklefish, Inmost is a spooky-looking story-driven puzzle platformer with 3 playable characters within one dark, interconnecting story. Players will have to fight their way through an abandoned castle to escape the game's pixel art world. Inmost will launch on Nintendo Switch later in 2019 because Nintendo Switch gets all the games, according to the developer. A second puzzle platformer, Stella, launched today too. From Halo Infinite co-developer Skybox Labs, Stella is described as an atmospheric game about a young woman witnessing the final days of a mysterious ancient world. It's expected out on October 17th for Xbox One and in 2020 on Steam. Stainless Games, Shock Rods, a killer-be-killed vehicle arena shooter, Rogue Games, Mind Sympathy, a music-based shoot-'em-up that'll make you feel better, and Effecto Studios' Decoherence, an action strategy robot game, were all released yesterday on Apple Arcade as well. So for $5 a month, Apple Arcade users have unlimited access to games on the service. You can get a 1-month free trial, but if you did get a 1-month free trial, anyone who kicked off their trial at launch will have theirs ending soon, meaning anyone that continues to then stick with the service and actually start paying it, Apple's going to get $5 a person off of. So you got a couple million, that's a couple $1 million. Pretty sweet. Next up, we have Walmart. Sorry, thought it was going to jump right to the next article. Shop a lot at Walmart. A new credit card with a digital-first approach could be giving you money back on purchases plus other rewards. The retail giant partnered with Capital One for 2 new cards. The Walmart Rewards card that's exclusively for purchases at Walmart, and the co-branded Capital One Walmart Rewards MasterCard. The Rewards MasterCard comes with a number of perks, including 5% back on purchases from Walmart's website and in-store purchases when using Walmart Pay for the first year after approval. After that first year, the card will pay 2% back on in-store purchases. The card also pays 2% back on restaurants and travel on 1% back everywhere else. What the heck? I didn't even click anything. Clicked like right there. You see, I didn't even click anything and it still does it. That's so strange, isn't it? The card comes with a 17.99% to 26.99% variable APR according to Capital One. There is no annual fee. Shoppers can apply for the card by text and start buying on Walmart's website and app as soon as they're approved without waiting for the card to arrive in the mail. That's pretty sweet. Daniel Eckert, Senior Vice President of Walmart Services and Digital Acceleration, said the company saw a need to create a fully digital cardholder experience. That's why we worked with Capital One to make it possible for cardholders to manage essentially every interaction with the program right from the palm of their hands. All right, article number 3. Synchrony Financial, one of Warren Buffett's investments, if you didn't know. So, lax anti-money laundering AML systems have cost FLS more than $8 billion in fines this year alone, and maintaining compliance without compromising the user experience can be tricky, says Michael Bopp, Chief Customer Engagement Officer for Synchrony Financial. In the latest digital banking tracker, he takes PYMTS inside how the company is innovating its cybersecurity protocols to ward off money launderers without adding friction to the customer experience. Dude, this is ridiculous. I can't even click without it sending me somewhere. Like, how does that take me somewhere? Very strange. Money laundering has always troubled financial institutions, but today's digital banking systems create additional complexities as fraudsters around the world take advantage of financial technologies to launder, approximately $2 trillion annually. That's a lot of freaking bread. Banks are scrambling to match cybercriminals' pace, and some are adapting quicker than others. 5 Dutch banks recently formed a group to protect their systems against money launderers, but only after 3 of them shook off fines and anti-money laundering strategy investigations. Member ING Bank was fined 775 million euros or $852 million in 2018 for failing to prevent criminals from siphoning millions of euros through it over a 6-year period, for example. Financial institutions, or FLS, worldwide are providing their AML strategies to protect against similar events, but the process requires more than simply adding security to their online platforms. Legitimate customers have expectations that banks must meet, meaning FLS must walk fine lines between providing speed and AML security, according to Michael Bopp, Executive Vice President and Chief Customer Engagement Officer for Synchrony Financial. Bob recently spoke with this site about how AML expectations are changing and how Synchrony has developed customer engagement and cybersecurity protocols to address all aspects of money laundering. Consumers want speed and personalization, but they don't want to sacrifice security, he said. Basically, we customers want a perfect world. Because the online environment continues to evolve at a fast pace, our AML strategies need to be fluid to keep up with the increasingly functionality and continual evolution of technology our customers expect and deserve. All right, article number 4. Broadcom. I know many of you guys haven't heard of this one in a while, and some of you may have never heard of this one. This, I do believe, is a Chinese company. I might have the wrong country here, but they're a huge basically router and like tech stock, basically. Anyways, let's get into it. Broadcom recently rolled out 3x3 Wi-Fi chip, or Wi-Fi 6 chip, that is aimed at accelerating WLAN applications. The customers can leverage the new chip to support latest Wi-Fi 6 compliant residential gateways, Wi-Fi routers, set-top boxes, and wireless range extenders, among other devices. The latest chip is embedded with robust RF power amplifiers to facilitate high-performance applications in a cost-effective manner. They're pulling advanced micro devices over here. Low on the power usage, but very efficient, high performance. Notably, the company will demonstrate solution among other Wi-Fi 6 access point offerings at the 2019 Broadband World Forum, or BBWF, from October 15th to the 17th, so in 3 to 5 days. In Amsterdam, the Netherlands, the latest chip is under sampling to select customers. Here's some more details on it, but this was a pretty quick one. Let's move on to the next article. So, we're just going to cover Qorvo for this. But anyways, here again, Cohen argues that good news is more likely to drive Qorvo stock up than bad news will drag it down. Focusing on the potential for 5G to drive sales of iPhones and other phones, Cohen estimates that in 2021, so next year, Qorvo could earn as much as $7.50 to $8 per share. And by next year, I guess I'm saying the year after this one, so you could say 2 years, but it's almost 2020. And when it says here, earn as much as $7.50 to $8 per share, that really means EPS, so earnings per share. Anyways, if the final numbers turn out to be, say, $7.60, then at a price of $76 and change, this means that Qorvo 2 is selling for a multiple of 10 times to 2021 earnings. So basically, that's a PE of 10 times, basically. So price to earnings is 10. Admittedly, the risk is a little higher with Qorvo than with Skyworks, Cohen notes. For example, that Qorvo's content is lower this iPhone cycle. Qorvo stock also hasn't been as badly hurt by the Huawei mess, with only 75% of sales that Qorvo could otherwise have made to the Chinese tech company, absent the restrictions discounted in 2020. On the other hand, Cohen says that we see iPhone unit upside ahead of higher RF content in a 5G-enabled phone in 2020, and a 2020 resolution to the trade war could still give a sizable lift to Qorvo's prospects, as much as $500 million in extra revenue next year, which is huge for a company this small, and perhaps $1 per share more in earnings. Additionally, Cohen notes the potential for increasing acceptance of Wi-Fi 6 smart home technology to boost Qorvo's business, which Broadcom, if you guys remember, that's what I just read about, was Broadcom's Wi-Fi 6. So they all just kind of work together with this whole 5G world. Anyways, though, on to this next one, WeWork. So WeWork is in talks with lenders led by JP Morgan Chase and Company about a $5 billion debt package, seeking to ease a cash crunch that could leave the office sharing company short of money as soon as next month, according to people familiar with the matter. One option that's been floating is raising $3 billion or more of the debt package through the sale of high-yield bonds. Some of the other people said the financing could start to more formally come together as early as next week, but it may take longer for its structure and terms to be finalized, said the people who requested anonymity because the talks are private. SoftBank Group Corp., the largest shareholder in WeWork, is currently in advanced talks to acquire more shares at a significantly lower valuation than the $47 billion WeWork had in January, said two people familiar with those discussions. We just keep talking about people that are familiar. Can we actually get names here? SoftBank had already agreed to contribute another $1.5 billion to the company next April, according to WeWork's now withdrawn prospectus for an initial public offering. The financing talks sent the company's bonds to their biggest gain on record. WeWork needs new financing before the end of November to avoid running out of money, two people familiar with the matter said earlier. We Company was one of the year's most hotly anticipated IPOs, but a turbulent process turned into a cautionary tale of private market, I don't even know how to pronounce that one, exuberance, and cost the company's top executive his job. Wow. The fast-growing, money-losing startup had been counting on a stock listing and a $6 billion loan contingent on a successful IPO to meet its cash needs. The company's bond prices climbed from record lows amid reports of the financing talks. Its senior unsecured notes due 2025 jumped more than 8 cents on the dollar to $90.50 at 2:34 p.m. in New York after dropping to as low as $81.25 on Thursday, according to trade bond trading data. So, some more information for you guys if you want to read it, but I think we got the gist of it down. Let's move on to the next one. So, eBay, Stripe, MasterCard, and Visa are all dropping out of Facebook's Libra cryptocurrency project. The companies announced Friday. This news comes, if you guys will remember my news update from last week, 1 week after PayPal announced its withdrawal as government regulators continue to scrutinize the plans. In statement following the news, the company said they respect and see potential in the project, but have chosen to focus on their other efforts, which is hilarious because that's what PayPal said. They're probably all going to say that, the ones that leave. A Stripe spokesperson said in a statement that the company is supportive of projects that aim to make online commerce more accessible for people around the world. Stripe will remain open to working with Libra Association at a later stage, the spokesperson said. A Visa spokesperson said the company will continue to evaluate, and our ultimate decision will be determined by a number of factors, including the association's ability to fully satisfy all requisite regulatory expectations. Visa's continued interest in Libra stems from our belief that well-regulated blockchain-based networks could extend the value of secure digital payments to a greater number of people and places, particularly in emerging and developing markets. In other words, we want to make money, and we're not sure that the government's going to let you make money. The original coalition of 28 corporate backers of the Libra cryptocurrency seems to be dwindling as lawmakers continue to question how it will impact sovereign currencies and how the project's leaders can ensure consumers' protection. Oh boy, I'm not even going to try. And PayU are now the only two payment companies continuing to back the cryptocurrency as of Friday afternoon. And I'm not even sure I've ever even heard of either of those. Maybe PayU. Original backers, Uber and Lyft, told CNBC there has been no change in their involvement in the project. The backers abandoned the project may have found safety in numbers after PayPal announced its exit last week. News that eBay, Stripe, and MasterCard were each dropping out quickly followed one after another Friday afternoon, indicating all three had likely been thinking about leaving during the same period. The decisions come ahead of planned Libra Association Council meeting on October 14th. A week later, Libra's cryptocurrency project will take center stage in front of U.S. lawmakers once again when Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg testifies in front of the House Financial Services Committee later this month. David Marcus, who leads the Libra project and was previously the president of PayPal, weighed in on Twitter hours after the announcements. He cautioned against reading the fate of Libra into this update. Marcus testified before the committee in July. At the time, representatives, including Chairwoman Maxine Waters, D. California, had asked Marcus whether Facebook would postpone its plans until the necessary regulations were in place. Marcus did not give an affirmative answer. According to Waters' judgment, she said his answer was not a commitment. Anyways, on to this next article. Not trying to spend too much time on any one of them. So, Oracle Oracle wants to ramp up its cloud business, and what better place to grow and pick off engineers than the backyard of industry leaders Amazon and Microsoft? The company told Reuters earlier this week it plans to hire 2,000 additional people to roll out its cloud services to more parts of the world, and an examination of the company's open position points to a major hiring push on the way in Seattle. A centerpiece of its cloud operations that has faced its ups and downs in recent years, a search for jobs in Seattle returned 839 results, though a chunk of the positions, a little more than 10%, list other locations as well. Oracle has 24 open positions in nearby Bellevue, Washington, where Amazon is expanding rapidly, and Microsoft also has a presence. Be careful, Oracle. Oracle is playing catch-up in the cloud, aiming to expand beyond its legacy in databases to build a fully fledged public cloud platform, attempting to go toe-to-toe with Amazon, Google, and Microsoft for a wider range of cloud contracts. Seattle, which has become the cloud capital of the U.S. thanks to the growth of Amazon and Microsoft, as well as Google's new cloud campus, is an important part of that effort. 2 years ago, Oracle leased a big chunk of a downtown Seattle office space, expanding its presence in the region. It has also been linked to the office space at the Rainer Square project that Amazon put back on the market earlier this year. However, Oracle reportedly laid off hundreds of people from its cloud-focused Seattle office earlier this year, in an indication of the uphill climb it faces. We've reached out to Oracle for comment, and we will update the story if we hear back. Earlier this year, Oracle struck a surprising cloud partnership with longtime rival Microsoft. As part of the deal, Oracle is putting its data centers as close as possible to Microsoft's. The goal is to link Oracle Cloud infrastructure to Microsoft Azure as seamlessly, I hate that word, as Oracle would connect two of its own data centers in the same region, allowing businesses to run different components on an application in concert across the Oracle and Microsoft clouds. All right, a little bit more, then we'll go ahead and skip the next one. Don Johnson, Executive Vice President of Oracle's Cloud Infrastructure Unit, told Reuters the company will add people in Seattle, the San Francisco Bay Area, India, and near new data centers. The company aims to open 20 additional cloud regions, are areas where it operates clusters of data centers by the end of next year. Oracle today had 16 regions, and a dozen of them opened in the last year. Reuters reported new regions will be located in Chile, Japan, South Africa, and the United Emirates, along with other data centers throughout Europe and Asia. Not sure what Emirates stands for. I probably should. Microsoft's Azure unit has the most regions of any of the other major cloud providers at 54. Amazon Web Services has 22, with 3 more on the way. Cloud services make up nearly 3/4 of Oracle's overall revenue, $6.8 billion out of total revenue of $9.2 billion. That's a lot. In the most recent quarter, Oracle's overall revenue was flat in the most recent quarter, and cloud services grew only about 3% year over year. Meanwhile, AWS, Amazon Web Services revenue, was $8.4 billion in the most recent quarter, up 37%. Microsoft doesn't break out Azure revenue in its financial results, but the company did disclose it rose 68% year over year in the most recent quarter. Absolutely destroying Oracle. Anyways, though, good luck to you, Oracle. Let's move on to our second to last one, UPS. UPS announced it will spend $450 million to add 6,000 vehicles powered by compressed natural gas, as well as supporting infrastructure beginning next year. It is the largest multi-year commitment UPS has made to data for alternative fuel vehicles. The additions include heavy-duty trucks, medium-duty package vans, and terminal tractors. UPS expects to have finished adding the equipment in the next 2 years by 2022. We have been deploying natural gas vehicles for many years. We greatly accelerated our deployment of natural gas stations and vehicles starting in 2013. We no longer consider our natural gas fleet to be in a test or experimental phase, but rather it is mainstream for UPS now, a UPS spokesperson told Transport Topics. We closely follow oil and natural gas prices, but we believed back in 2013 that natural gas in the U.S. would be relatively stable in cost versus oil-based fuels. That has been proven to be the case, and we see that continuing for this foreseeable future. Agility Fuel Solutions, a business of Hexagon Composites, will supply the fuel systems. Since 2016, Agility has provided natural gas fuel storage and delivery systems to more than 1,700 UPS trucks. Additionally, TrueStar Energy will design, manufacture, and install 5 CNG fueling stations in Lathrop, Visalia, and Moreno Valley, California. Do you guys notice sometimes I can pronounce words so well and other times I just struggle? Houston and Cleveland. UPS will deploy the new CNG vehicles on routes to use the new locations as well as add to existing natural gas fleets in other UPS locations. The latest CNG fleet expansion also provides additional truck capacity for expanding the use of renewable natural gas. Building CNG truck capacity is vital to increasing our use of RNG and ultimately meeting our 2025 sustainability goals, Juan Perez, Chief Information and Engineering Officer at UPS, said in a release. We intend for 25% of our vehicles to purchase in 2020 to run on alternative fuels. Let me just reread it. We intend for 25% of our vehicles purchased in 2020 to run on alternative fuels. RNG is produced from landfills, dairy farms, and other biosources and yields up to a 90% reduction in life cycle greenhouse gas emissions compared with conventional diesel. That is insane. As of this month, UPS has agreed to purchase 230 million gallon equivalents of RNG over the next 7 years, making the company the largest consumer of RNG in the transportation industry. By the end of 2019, UPS reported it will be operating 61 natural gas fueling stations strategically located across the United States and abroad in Vancouver, Canada, and Tamworth, United Kingdom. Over the past decade, UPS has invested more than $1 billion in a variety of alternative fuel and advanced technology vehicles and fueling stations to help meet its target of reducing absolute greenhouse gas emissions by 12% across its global ground operations by 2025. On to the last one. All right, a man who said he grew breasts. This one is so funny, guys. After taking a drug manufactured by pharmaceutical giant Johnson & Johnson, will receive $8 billion in punitive damages from the company. Now, unlike the last article that was hilarious with the whole gay coins thing with Apple, this one is pretty messed up because it's clearly true. There's more than just him that got affected. But anyways, Nicholas Murray, now 26, claimed in his suit that he developed breasts after doctors prescribed him Risperdal off-label in 2003 once a psychologist diagnosed him with autism spectrum disorder. Murray's award is the largest to date among more than 13,000 lawsuits against the company, claiming that Risperdal caused a condition called gynecomastia in boys involving enlargement of breast tissues. Guys, 13,000 lawsuits. How many guys grew boobs? That's all I want to know. The mountain of suits generally allege that the company was aware of that specific risk, but understated it to doctors, according to the report. Back in 2015, Murray won a $680,000 compensatory award over those same claims. A jury had awarded him $1.75 million, which a state appeals court later reduced. The jury, as have other juries in other litigations, once again imposed punitive damages on a corporation that valued profits over safety and profits over patients. Murray's lawyers, Tom Klein and Jason Itkin, said in a joint statement, Johnson & Johnson and subsidiary Janssen chose billions over children. But Johnson & Johnson called the award grossly disproportionate with the initial compensatory award in the case, and the company is confident it will be overturned. Well then, the jury, the company added, had not been allowed to hear evidence of the drug's benefits, because that's going to change everything. Professor Carl Tobias of the University of Richmond School of Law said that the punitive damages will likely be lowered on appeal, referencing a Supreme Court decision that found that few awards exceeding a single-digit ratio between punitive and compensatory damages to a significant degree will satisfy due process. So people will be satisfied with hearing that. The purpose of the $8 billion figure Tobias suggested was merely to send a message. A jury, if it's out... Why can't I hear my music? There we go. It never stops. That's so strange. A jury, if it's outrageous enough conduct, will award a big number and let the lawyers and judges work it out, he said. The Food and Drug Administration approved Risperdal in late 1993 for treating schizophrenia and episodes of bipolar mania in adults. Murray's suit and others claim that the company marketed the drug for unapproved uses with children. This kind of evidence in this trial may persuade another jury or judge to do something similar, Tobias said. That is it though, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe as always for more content like this, portfolio updates, as well as my most recent series, Getting to Know Our CEOs. Then the next CEO I will be doing, I'm not going to say his name, but he is Disney's CEO. Just a quick foreshadowing, I'll probably make the video today and post it tomorrow morning. But like I said, a stock market news update for October 12th will be out tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Feed You Information out.